Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the latest edition of the vlog. Glad you could be here today. So today we're going to talk about something a little different, a little less about creating business and all that stuff. Today we're going to talk about who you want to be. So this is something that's really important because I think a lot of people jump into starting a business or a side hustle or whatever it is, but don't really know who they are. You know, they don't know who they want to be. They don't have that goal. And I think, you know, when you're setting out to start a business, I think it's really important that you have both short-term and long-term goals, right? Like the long-term goal for everyone's basically the same. Like you want to be successful and be able to support yourself or your family or whatever, whatever it is. But the short-term goals are really important too. You have to, hey, in 5 years, I hope that this is where we'll be. And you have to like stay focused and aim for that, and stay on track. Obviously, you have to adjust a little bit here and there, but overall, you really need to find what you're going towards and stick to it. And so that's why I tell a lot of business owners that I talk to, especially ones in that first year, they're just getting started, because we do deal with a lot of people that are just getting started. Our packages that we put together where you're getting the logo, you're getting a website, you're getting all the design elements put together. We do all that stuff and it's one, flat rate, and we try to make it easy for people to get started. So just naturally we deal with a lot of business owners that are in that first, year or two. So, but something I tell all of them is, decide who you're going to be and go be it. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. So, I'm going to start with, finding your why. Everyone says that, right? It's kind of a cliche thing now. What's your why? Find your why. But let's talk about that a little bit, as far as in the sense of deciding who you're going to be, as a business owner, as a person. So we want to talk about what happened. So, what happened in your story, in your history that brought you to this path, that brought you to this point where you're deciding to take this trip, right? Did you have a really bad boss? Did you have a string of really bad bosses? Did you, grow up in a house where, your mom and dad were entrepreneurs and they had small businesses, and your brother and your sister, they all had, so this is kind of like a legacy thing. Is just this something new, you've been in a same career and you haven't really gone anywhere and you just want to try something new. Did you get bit by a radioactive spider and you've decided to become a superhero? Like whatever it is, find out like what happened to put you on this path, right? So you have to understand that and know that in here, understand where that is. Then you have to know kind of what's important. So what's important to you? Is it, creating products that's great for customers? Is it sustainability? Is it community? Is it family? Friends? Is it beer budget? Like whatever it is, you have to decide what is important. You have to think about what's going to change. So, a lot of times you'll be going from a steady income from a job to starting a company. So you got to know what's going to change, not only for yourself, but then in the world, right? So, be aware of what's gonna happen in your personal life and what needs to change around your house. Maybe you turn your cable off and just go with Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Maybe you're gonna be eating ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches, but know what's gonna change within yourself. But then also what's important is what's going to change. What are you going to change outside? So, what are you bringing to the table? Is your company gonna, solve a problem? I always say the best way to start a company is to find a problem and sell the solution. So, what's going to change when you come to market? Know that and understand that and believe in that wholeheartedly. You have to believe that what you're gonna do, what you're gonna bring, is gonna have some positive change for the market and for the your surroundings and community. And then the last bit of this is kind of the last bit of finding your why is, why are you doing this? So are you doing it to, have a little bit more flexibility to go travel, or because you want to be able to spend more time with your kids, which is a whole other thing, but we won't get into that today. But, is it, you want to solve world hunger? Why are you doing this? I mean, there's people don't just go, I don't know, because it was a Tuesday. Like, that's not the right answer. So you got to understand why you're doing it. So once you really understand, you've found your why, you've kind of answered those questions about yourself, then you can really make that first short-term goal, right? So like, for me, I'll run through these questions real quick. So for me, what happened was that, I was a mediocre high school student. I was a college dropout. I got kicked out, went back, dropped out. I mean, it was like, and then I bounced around from job to job as a designer at print shops and sign shops. And I did all this grunt work and climbed the ladder and was working for this guy at the end. And it wasn't really working out, and I asked him, hey, we just had our second kid. I'm not really making that much money. I'm getting no benefits. I really want to, I'm already kind of running a lot of stuff here. Anyways, I'd love to, see if I can take a manager's position, because we didn't really have one. It was me. And he said, no, that's not a good fit for you. You wouldn't be good at that job. So you just stay over there and be a graphic designer. Even though I was already being the manager, like I was already running a lot of stuff anyways, like a lot of the day-to-day operation stuff. So that was kind of the chip on my shoulder. That's what happened. I got pissed off, and I got tired of not making any money, and I got tired of struggling, being a dad and having 2 kids, and, my wife's working her tail off, and it just wasn't good for, it wasn't a good fit. So, for me, what's important? So one thing that was important was, making sure that when I left that job to start Metro Nova Creative, start running it full time, was that I took all the lessons I learned from the wrong way of doing things from jobs in the past and applied them to the new clients, right? So, applying the lessons I've learned to, starting this company and running things differently, and just trying something different. And then remembering how I felt being told, like, no, you're not good enough, and not really being supported, and not feeling valued, and making sure that I didn't treat people on my team that same way. So that was what was important, is that I created a product that was great, but that I made sure that everyone was valued, everyone on the team was valued, and their time was important to me. And I listened to them and asked them, what can I do to improve? How can I be better as a leader? Is there something you want to learn? Is there a new project you want to try? So those are things that are important. And then as far as what's going to change, when I set out to do this was, I wanted to create every opportunity for a small business, in that first 5 years or so, to be successful. And what I saw over and over and over again, working in print shops and in sign shops, was small businesses didn't have great branding. They didn't have a good logo. It was like a clip art thing from Google. They didn't have any of the files. Nothing matched. They just weren't looking well put together. And this country is built on the backs of small businesses. So we want them to have every opportunity to succeed. And what I heard over and over and over again was, well, we don't have a great logo and great branding and a website and all these things because we can't really afford to go to a firm. And I went, wait a minute. So we do, branding light, essentially. So I knew what needed to change was that we needed to bring professional design and products and things that are sustainable to a small business budget and bring it to them and provide it and offer, and streamline and make things a little easier for them. So that was the problem that I sold the solution to. That's how I started. Companies didn't have the time to go to all the time or budget to go to all these different places. So I said, come to me, we'll do it all. And it's, it's a great service. People really enjoy being able to just email one company to get their logo or their website or their printing or their social media or their SEO or their sign work or whatever it is. So it's great. So, that was the what's going to change. And then why are you doing this? So when I said those short-term goals, the short-term goal for me was just to be able to give myself something. I mean, I was hitting the ceiling at $16 an hour with no benefits and a second kid, and my family deserved better. So, when I first started, my why was to give my family and myself, a little bit of some breathing room, some better opportunities for myself to be able to be supportive, and we're getting there. It takes time. That's the hardest thing to realize is, you might have hit a ceiling and it might be crappy pay, but you're going to have to take a few years to get back to that crappy pay, but then you can keep going, if everything goes well. But so that was kind of the why early on, and we're wrapping up our 4th year now. So again, that short-term goal adjusts. The next goal is to grow the company hard enough that my wife's going to get her bachelor's degree in history right now. So when she graduates, hopefully in 2019, I want her to have the ability to, if she decides to, take some time off from work, and make some decisions and see if she wants to try to do something new. When I left my job and our daughter was a month old, she didn't kick me out of the house. So I want to be able to afford her the opportunity to do some exploring herself and figure out what she wants to, her next path, her next goal. So that's my new, short-term goal. I think it's important, when you're in a partnership, that you support each other as much as you can. So that's kind of my why right now, is to be supportive of what she wants to do later. So, but that really, all of that comes together to really focus on what I was saying. Decide who you're going to be and go be it. Decide who you want to be. What's the person? Who is the person that you want to be? Be decent to one another. Be supportive. Be a hustler. Go be a guy that is the dude that's like, I sold my 9th house today. Check out my 9th Porsche today. If that's who you want to be, go be it. But decide who you're going to be and stay on that track and go be that person. That's the best advice anybody can give you. Decide who you want to be, go be it. Okay? So I hope this was helpful for everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to check this out. If you have any questions about some of the services we offer, or if you just have some questions about what we talked about today, you can email me. You can reply to the email. It's dan@metronovacreative.com. Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. Hope everyone has a great day, and be decent to each other. Thanks. Bye.